Okay, hello and welcome to our webinar today on ancient secrets to improve your fertility. So today I'm going to be doing my webinar with Prati. Just start from slideshow. And we're going to talk about the benefits of how Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine improve our fertility and the ingredients that we use and why they actually help us in terms of women's health and in general health as well. Not necessarily for just fertility, but it's good to also know some of these properties for just general health as well. So for those that don't know me, my name is Ellie Huang, and I've been a beauty therapist for almost 18, 19 years. I've been a Chinese medicine practitioner as well for 12 years, a herbal medicine practitioner, a herbalist for 12 years. I'm also an NLP master coach, hypnotherapist, and my passion and expertise is in women's health, fertility, and aging. And I also have my own skincare range called Pearl Pureness. So Prati, I'll let you introduce yourself there.
Thank you, Ellie. This is Prati Ruby, and I'm a trained tea developer, and I have a passionate core, a passion for nature and natural health. So basically, a tea developer is quite different from a herbalist, and that's how me and Ellie thought it's a beautiful match made in heaven, where we can work together on this. I've been privileged to be trained under tea masters, where the tea masters are those who have worked their lives in on the fields, hands-on work with the field scientists, and I've worked with them, and I've walked across India to find out some of the most empowering herbs and natural remedies, and I bring that forth via my tea company.
Beautiful. Thanks, Prati. So Chinese herbal medicine, it has been used for over 2,500 years ago, and it dates back to actually the 3rd century. And herbs are actually prescribed to balance and restore energy in our body. So when we actually prescribe herbs, we're actually looking at how this is going to restore the balance using the 5 elements in Chinese herbal medicine. And we're looking at treating the root cause of disease. So when we prescribe the synergistic blends of herbs or individual ingredients, we're looking at how this is going to get to the root problem of disease by understanding the 5 elements, which is wood, fire, earth, metal, water in our bodies, and what are out of balance and what we need to sort of regulate and bring back into balance to bring harmony into the body. So every single herb in Chinese herbal medicine, there's about over 3,000 sort of different herbs that we use. 300 herbs that we use that are very common. But yeah, so all of these different herbs will have specific properties. So some herbs might be more sour in nature, some herbs will be more bitter, some are sweet, some are spicy, and some are salty. So all of these different flavors will go into the body, and they will regulate the particular element and the particular organ that is out of balance. So we're using combinations of different flavors to actually bring about a synergistic balance for disease. So fertility herbs, they're very important to help to regulate the body's function. We help to stimulate the endocrine system, which is our hormonal system. It helps to balance the body's energy, and we can use that to regulate periods and improve any blood flow. So they're the main sort of functions we're looking at when we're deciding on formulas and deciding on individual ingredients for women's health formulas. So some of the really common fertility herbs that we use in many of the formulas will include a combination or more sort of one ingredient more than the other, but you will find a lot of these common fertility herbs in specific fertility and women's health formulas. So the first one is licorice root. Now, licorice root is used to predominantly detoxify the liver. It helps to support the endocrine system. It's a phytoestrogen. As it binds to estrogen receptors, it's an anti-inflammatory herb, and it also helps the cervical mucus. Cinnamon. So cinnamon, we use them in a lot of sort of chai teas and all of that, but cinnamon in its raw cinnamon root form, in combination with herbs, is really good for warming up the cold. So we're talking about sort of cold uterus, the people who generally feel more cold. We want to be able to warm that up, as that increases our blood and increases blood circulation. It also helps to regulate the periods and also regulate the hormones. The third common herbs that we use is called white peony. White peony is used with a lot of other herbs to assist conception, soothes painful menstruation, endometriosis. It's used a lot in specific things like fibroids, PCOS, as it helps with circulation of the blood to the pelvis. And goji berries. So people have heard of goji berries. You can usually put it in a tea, but it's quite a beautiful synergistic herb on its own, or usually in a formula, to help improve fertility in both male and females. So how it does is it the rich nature of the goji berries nourishes the blood. It boosts kidney essence, helps with oxidative stress, and improves reproductive organs, reproductive hormones in mainly females, as well as males. So it helps to improve the sperm, and as well, it's a powerful antioxidant. So they used to do a lot of goji berry drinks. I advise sort of just buying goji berries on its own, and you can just put a handful in your tea every day. So it's wonderful. Also helps with the eyes as well. So it really nourishes the eyes and helps with tiredness. Angelica Root. Angelica Root is a blood nourisher, so help to nourish blood, assist the blood flow, especially to the pelvic area and the gynecological region. Helps to stop any pain in the body. So if you've got really painful periods, if you've got cramping, ovulation pain, we put Angelica Root to help with that, and we help to regulate menstruation. And lastly, red dates. Red dates really supports the spleen, which is one of the major organs in Chinese medicine to build the blood, nourish the blood around the body, boost energy, regulate female hormones, and it also helps to strengthen breast development as well as calming the mind and spirit. So we know that women go through, different hormonal changes in the cycle, as well as for fertility. So it really helps to calm the mind and calm the spirit. So there are some of the common fertility herbs that you will see in specific fertility formulas. So I might pass you on to Prati, who's going to talk about Teaphoria and specifically Ayurvedic herbs and the herbs in that she's talking about in women's health as well. So Prati, I'll pass you over to you to have a talk.
So what you shared was extraordinary, and like with each herb, like how or the elements, I call them elements now, because some of the things like goji berries and dates you can't classify them as herbs, but I just call them elements. That they are so necessary to just bring them together and create something. You can also have them individually, but if you are turning them into a concoction and having them, and in ancient term we used to call them kada, which is Kadha. Like, it's such a commonly used term in India, but we actually create those kadas for so many different purposes. Like it for fertility, people see natural fertility doctors and they create kadas for them, and then these powders are given to them, and that's been happening since more than 5,000 to 10,000 years back in India. And these kadas changes as per the season, as per what's what's fresh, what's local, what's seasonal, what's your body type, and they often ask people a few questions that what will and what wouldn't suit them. So me and Ellie, what we have done is like create these two different teas, but with the concept of kada, but at the same time understand we can't map every single body type. So what's the most commonly what's the common understanding for us in terms of what needs to happen when it comes to fertility with your body? And that's you need your body to be really warmed up. You need to be sustainable to actually sustain a life inside your body. So having really, really high amount of proteins that so you don't get depleted, and at the same time high amount of iron. And this is how the Fertility Latte, the first one, that with high proteins from elements like herbs, vegetables, it's a perfect body warmer, and it comes with 8 different elements in there. And as the season changes, the elements do change. I don't like to put the same things in the latte when it's winter and it's summer, I can't treat the latte exactly the same way because your body will change and shift as per the season. And same with the last trimester tea. We made it for the last 2 trimester that once you're conceived, once you've created a body that is quite thriving and is able to sustain that life that we have just accomplished the mission, and then now you are in your last trimester and you need that smooth transition for delivering the baby, and that's the last trimester tea that we have created. It's very, very antibacterial because that's the time you really need to be really away from bacteria and infections. So it's very, very antibacterial and very pelvic strengthening tea. So I can just take you to the next slide, please, Ellie. Here's the combination that I've used, which is quite different from what Ellie showed, but we came with this combination together for a reason, and then they will change as the season changes. So the fenugreek leaves and lemon balm, beautiful, beautiful combination. Basically, fenugreek is the high antioxidant, but it comes as a bitter food, and it's excellent to assist your body to formulate that breast milk from the very beginning of the stage, and also detoxify your liver and make your body really healthy and the pelvic area really healthy. And also the lemon balm, which is like, I think Ellie really insisted that I do add lemon balm to it. That is really a match made in heaven when you actually put them together in a tea. So that's your last trimester tea that we are talking about. Australian stinging nettle and raspberry leaves. Australian stinging nettle are my favorite ingredient because you can eat it just by themselves as well. They're really, really, really rich in iron. They're really rich in so many minerals and vitamin C. They're really high in vitamin C, so it allows you to absorb the iron better. And they are a wonderful element of protein. They're just a wonder herb. And if you're drinking in a tea, it's great. It's such a good anti-inflammatory because I've been drinking it even though I'm not trying to get pregnant. It's helping with inflammation, with other stress-related inflammation that happens on an everyday basis when you're going through so much. We live in a very fast-moving life. So stinging nettle is a blessing. To be honest, in India we eat a stinging nettle curry and it's yummy. And the raspberry leaf tea. I love the raspberry leaf properties because it's great for men as well, and it's really helps us to increase the levels of progesterone, which may in turn enhance your fertility and your chances as well. So you can have the raspberry tea. This I'm talking about the last trimester tea, but you can have raspberry leaf tea just by itself if you're trying to conceive as a tea, just 4 to 6 cups of it, just pure raspberry tea is that good for you, and it reduces the inflammation, and also strengthens your uterine lining, which is amazing. And pumpkin seeds and beetroot. Now this one's gone into that particular tea, the Ellie's Fertility Latte. This is a latte. We've created that you can have it with any nut milk or soy milk. If you are into dairy, great, you can have it that way as well, but nut milk or soy milk is really good for that. Make sure that when you're selecting a soy milk, you're actually selecting it without any rancid, which is do not have any oils in them. So please turn your bottle box around and see if there is any sunflower oil sitting in there. It's just not right for your arteries. It's going to give you an adverse effect. So trying to select. And right now, the only 2 oils that I'm aware, the only 2 soy milk that I'm aware of is Happy Soy and Bon Soy that doesn't have oils. It just don't have anything with raw oils. Pumpkin seeds and beetroot powder. Pumpkin seeds really, really high in protein, triple the amount of protein than stinging nettle. It's just a packed full of nutrition-rich seeds that I can give you really high, really good fatty acids in there, and beetroot powder. And when I use beetroot powder, I actually try to source the beetroot leaf powder as well as the fruit in itself, the vegetable, because they both have their own values. The beetroot leaf is amazing, high antioxidant and very cleansing for your body, very detoxing, and the beets itself are really high in iron and magnesium. Turmeric and pepper, you can't have one without each other when you're trying to make use of the both completely. If you want to absorb the curcumin and turmeric, which is 8% here. Turmeric does deplete in curcumin, sometimes comes back to 5%. And if you are trying to absorb it over all of it, and 5% is ideal, you need to add pepper to it, and you need to sustain it with some sort of fats, which again, if you're having it as a latte, it will sustain because it sets the soy milk or the nut milk fat going on in there, and pepper boosts the curcumin level. That's how we created these two. If you have any more questions, do you have any questions, Ruby, any so far? We are recording this for other people, but do you have any questions? Ruby, are you there?
Just with the ingredients that you guys use, are they organic ingredients?
Yes.
Or they're all organic?
Yep.
Okay.
100%. So the reason why, that's the difference between like a tea maker and a tea developer. So my job is to really understand the farming, really understand the soil, the climate, what material, what organic, what area that I'm sourcing my ingredients from. They can't be just from anywhere. So I have to make sure that if either it is 100% organic or either it is from a farm where it is local and it is produced in a very, very, very sustainable way. If at all it's 100% organic, then they are not at least sprinkling pesticides. There is a very fine line of completely organic and them trying to not use any other harmful elements to them as well. So then I have to just make sure I ask the farmers the right questions to know that they're at least having good practices there at their farms.
So some might not be organic, but they're spray free and they're pesticide free.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just can't get organic. Yeah, because they can't get the organic labels on every single ingredient because that costs money. But if you know the farm and you know that they're not spraying it with any pesticides or herbicides,
you know what techniques they're using.
Yes.
Yeah. Because sometimes even for companies like us, to get the certification, it's such a painful process, and to me it defies the process of it just adds on to the loading charges of their farming practices. And I'm a very traditional woman, and I feel like put that money into buying yourself, investing into a worm farm, instead of running after a certification. We trust you as long as you're confident in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because each certification for an organic ingredient costs like $10,000 to $15,000.
Just one ingredient.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So as long as you know that the farm, same with a lot of organic produce, they can't label it as 100% organic certified organic, but they can label it as being pesticide free or organic in its practice, but not labeled as certified organic, but just labeled as organic. So
Organic,
there's two differences. Yeah, there's two differences. When it's a certified organic, that's coming with a certification, but organic, you know that their practices are organic, but they haven't got the paperwork to show that.
Okay. And sometimes in India, they don't know what the paperwork is. And when you meet them, they are so much into traditional farming that I see them picking up all the waste, and I see them picking up all the cow dung and droppings, and then they're putting that into a composter. And I can see that that's what they've been using because they're not going to have that much money. They're not going to go and invest into random sprays either, because they just design it that way that if you ask them what's your manure like, they will just show me a lot of space where they're collecting animal droppings.
Okay, all right, that's good, thank you.
Okay. And I love thinking about my teas this way. Trust your inner strength and nature, because this is how I came to become a tea developer. It's easy to become a tea maker because then you just knock on a few wholesalers' door, bring everything and just put random things in there, Google it and make a tea. And bingo, put a sticker on it, go to Officeworks, how easy, you have a business. But becoming a tea developer I needed a lot of inner strength. And that's when I tell people as well that if you're trying to do something that's going to require trust in yourself, that you're going to do something outside the box, that it's going to not take shortcuts, it's not going to be boom, you're going to tap up some medication, so you're going to go the easy way, but you're trying to get trying to do the natural way, then it may take a longer time, because we live in times where all the foods that we are eating or consuming is very adulterated, and you have to trust your inner strength first, that that your body is sustainable, you are born perfect, and then that you have that capacity to do whatever you want to, and then the nature has the strength to sustain you back. And this is when you understand, you just when you start aligning to that thought process in your body, like everything starts aligning so beautifully. And I think like Ellie would agree, because she's a hypnotherapist, and if you have ever have the hypnotherapy for fertility, Ellie, like you must be telling this to your clients as well, like think of yourself as if you're enough, like you are enough. Trust your inner strength and the nature, and the nature is enough. And there's a beautiful saying about nature in India that when a human is born, within the 8 miles of the human, there is everything grows within the 8 miles that your body needs to sustain itself. So that's how powerful nature is. It's just because we have dislocated ourselves and put ourselves into different areas that we don't really belong to, that we feel very misaligned. So trust your inner self and trust the nature, that wherever you are, there is health. And why Ayurveda? I think Ayurveda is because it's not just about herbs and spices. I think that's the last thing that we give importance to, because that's the end product, and we often get stuck into that. Even though I have a product business, I would think like that's the end product. Well, that's fine, The main thing behind Ayurveda is understanding your own body, respecting your own body, understanding where you are located, becoming very local, as in like wherever you are, trust the local produce, trying to buy as many less imported stuff from supermarket as possible. If you are located somewhere where you can access a farmer's market, go and buy local vegetables. There's from last 10 years, there hasn't been a single time that I went to supermarket to buy my vegetables, because they're vegetables. I'm not sure where they come from the supermarket, but there's a farmer's market there. And I know that farmer. He's amazing with his family. He lives there. And he knows me. I just buy from him. And that just makes me so thriving. My body literally works differently now. I can see the difference. I can see that I've never had a breakout on my skin. And I can see that I don't have that bloaty or constipated feeling. It does make a difference. And that's more like Ayurveda practices, where you understand inner and outer sustainability so well that you're confident how you are inside, and you're accessing the stuff outside you as well very confidently.
Yeah,
and
they're
very
similar.
locally.
Yeah, similar to
Yeah.
Chinese medicine. I mean, I think both medicines go back to similar practices, right? It all starts from nature. It all starts from within. And it's like, so many people have lost their way with the way of eating now, right? There's so much processed food and all of that. And yeah, look, there's times when it calls for that, people, for whatever reason, but a lot of the time people eat more processed food than they do cook, or they do, sort of going to a farmer's market or getting organic as much as they can, right? People are just lazy or whatever else. And so, yeah, it is getting back to in touch with yourself, in touch with nature, and looking after your health in the best way possible, and just going back to basics and going back to nature. Like it was springtime, I started planting a whole bunch of new stuff for, like my, summer crops and things like that. But yeah, a lot of people aren't sort of in touch with nature. And with fertility and women's health, we are coming from nature. We have to get in touch with, Gaia, Mother Earth, so if they aren't doing that, that's the number one thing that I, get people to do, is really get in touch with themselves and with nature first. Otherwise, it's going to be a long road ahead with if they're not looking after their health from the get-go, from, trying to make small changes, like and doing as much as they can to eat as well as they can, and to put the best they can into their bodies, right? They're trying
100%.
to grow a baby.
Absolutely. I haven't had a burger from outside in last 12 years, and I've never had, I did, but there was a long time back. It was really, really painful, but menstrual health, period pains, they disappeared dramatically. And how did they disappear? I've never had a burger. in last 12 days, I don't miss out on a burger because it just doesn't fit. Like I don't crave for it because my mind is designed. I think like you think like there's a cheat day and it's okay, but it's up to you what you want to cheat on. Like you can also design your mind to what you want to cheat on. Like I don't have cheat days because I don't think that they're necessary, because if you balance your diet in a way that you're enjoying what you're eating, then you're not, if you need a cheat day when you're not enjoying what you're eating, like, you know, that's when you feel like cheating. It's like in a relationship with somebody that you're not in love with, then you feel like cheating. And the same thing, like I'm having a cheat day itself, to me, it's such a negative connotation. Like I don't understand it. So I've never had one. I was like, what do you mean cheat day? Like if I feel like having a chocolate, I'll have it, but that's
because
just
you're
one
eating.
Yeah. So
you're
I'm
eating
not
well. Most of the time.
Mindfully about, like, you know, I can make a beautiful vegetarian burger at home. And when I had a conversation with somebody that say like, Prati, I love your teas, they look beautiful, what do I do with the detox? And they asked me a million questions. They said, I'm not going to have time to, like, you know, you're saying that you'll be sending me yoga poses and meditations along with your detox box, but I'm not going to have time to follow that through, so thank you. I'm going to pass it, and I won't take your detox tea. And I was like, that's fine, but that's not what I'm shocked that I'm giving you things for free that you'll rather pay, and you don't have time to spare for yourself. That's actually costing you more than, way more than a box of detox. Like, you know, I don't even want to, I didn't feel like, you know, now let's go back a few steps before I task you to buy the detox box. Like, how do you not have time for yourself? I understand how much busy you could be. You could be running 10 businesses. I mean, I have business, Ellie has business, Ellie has kids, but if you can't spend 10 minutes of your day dedicated to yourself, that's just you, then there's so much external white noise that you're going to go through, and you're just going to make your process longer. Like, what are you going to detox from? That's the first thing you want to detox from. Like, where are you spending your time? First, spend it for yourself. So that's the first thing. Yeah. What's the next slide, Ellie? I forgot.
I think that was it. Yep.
That was it? Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Is there anything you wanted to add? Was there anything you wanted to add, Ruby? Prati? Just
Me?
yeah.
No, that's what I wanted to just say, that the fertility tea is created for, like, you know, complete sustainability of your inner body with nature. And then you have to trust yourself, the inner sustainability. And that's it. And there's always help available. There's Ellie, there's us together. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, Ruby, when you come in next, I'll give you a little sample of those beautiful teas that Prati has made. So yeah, they're gorgeous and it tastes amazing. So yeah, we'll give you a little sample for sure.
All right.
Oh,
Cool. Thank you. We have